So if you're even remotely related to the field of photography, chances are you've come across this magical editing software called Lightroom. Now, a year back when I started using Lightroom to edit my own pictures, I was super intrigued myself as well. Now in 2018, we have Lightroom Mobile, a photo editing software for doing most of the things on your phone. And on that note, today we'll be using this app to turn this picture into something that looks like this. With that being said, what's up guys, Anubhav here, and as always, before we start, to see other pictures that I click and edit, follow me on my Instagram from the first link in the description below. And with that out of the way, let's do this. Alright guys, so now we are in Lightroom Mobile. Now first things first, import the image you'd like to edit into Lightroom and open it up. For this video, we are going to be using this stock image, essentially a pretty good portrait which has a kind of a moody feel to it. Now once imported, you will see a series of options or tools for you to edit on the bottom of your screen. The first option I usually apply on any image, whether I'm using Lightroom Mobile or the PC software, is the preset setting, which gives me a starting point to determine the mood for the picture. Now for this one, I want to go for a faded moody portrait, which is exactly what I will look for while looking through the different presets that are available. You can do the same. It's not going to be the same for every picture, but the kind of edit that we want, the matte preset works really well for me, so I'm going to select that. Next, I usually just turn on lens corrections just in case there are any. Chances are it's not going to do anything if your image is downloaded from the internet, but if you've clicked the photo from your camera, this option really helps. Next up, we have the detail tool where you can configure various aspects like sharpening the image. Moving on, we have the effects tool, and this has to be the most intuitive tool in the app. Firstly, we have the infamous clarity slider, which makes your image look pretty damn good, but remember, too much of it will ruin your image, so keep that in mind and control your emotions. Then there is dehaze and vignette, and this is really up to you and how you want your image to look. Now I do apply a little bit of vignetting, but that is really just to add that dramatic effect to it, so in case you're not going for that, make sure you do not apply any kind of vignette at all. Now we come to split toning, which is a pretty important part of editing your image. In case you do not know what it is, split toning is essentially adding different colors to the highlights and the shadows of your image to make it look a certain way. Here I would like to get an orange tint in the highlights, so that is exactly what I choose in the color palette that has been given to us. In the shadows, however, I would prefer a cooler undertone, so we look for something along the lines of blue or teal. Then you can use the balance slider to balance the overall image out, and you're almost done. Next, we come to the color section, and this is essentially where you adjust the temperature of the picture and determine how cool or warm it will be. I will go for a slight cool tone since that's the idea behind this image. I want it to be cold, kind of sad and moody. Then you can select the other options including vibrance and the other tools that are available and see what looks good and take your decisions on the options you're selecting. Next up, we have the light tab, and here you can adjust pretty much every aspect of your photo, going from exposure, contrast to the highlights and shadows. Again, the formula here remains the same, everything in moderation until you achieve the result where you're satisfied. Next, we go to the curve tool where you can adjust the highlights and shadows in a graphical manner, and also the RGB curves to adjust the levels of the LED, blue and green respectively. Now once all of that is done, we come to the last section, that is the crop and rotate section. Now most people ignore this section like it does not matter. I mean, even I've done it before, but let me tell you, it does. So if you're editing pictures to put up on your Instagram and are serious about your work, you want to grow your business or your photography or anything of that sort, you need to know what's currently working right now in the market and implement that into the photos. So right now, all that's going on Instagram is 4:5 tall, fat pictures that take up a lot of real estate on your screen. So while cropping your photo, select the 4:5 or 4:5 crop and adjust your picture accordingly before you save it. Once done, simply hit on the hamburger menu, hit save to device and select the highest quality possible and save the edited image to your gallery. Okay, now that we are done, let's look at the before and after before we move to the second aspect or the second part of this video. So we started with this image, and after editing, this is what we have. Now keep in mind, I like the result after editing because, well, I've edited it and this is how I would want a picture to look in a certain way. But let's say you do not, and if that is the case, keep in mind this video is in no way to tell you how to edit your photos. Photography, editing, filmmaking, all of these are various creative aspects, and in a world where images are made with one-click presets and corporate portfolios, feel free to use whichever feature you would like because it's your edit and it's your creative freedom. The point of this video was to make you aware of all the tools available to you in Lightroom Mobile, but not to provide a blueprint to be followed exactly. Alright, now that that's out of the way, we move on to the second aspect, that is adding some background bokeh to this image, and for this we will be using an app called PicsArt. For this you have to Google bokeh and download any random stock bokeh image to your phone. Once done, open up the picture that we edited in Lightroom in PicsArt. With that out of the way, go all the way to add photo in the settings at the bottom of the screen and select the downloaded image of the bokeh. Once done, resize it as per your photo and make sure the picture covers the entire screen. Now while resizing the different parts of the picture on top of your original image, you can reduce the opacity of the layer, and while doing it you can see the image behind it so you get a better idea of what you're actually doing. Now once done, go to the blend option and select the screen option. This works best on superimposing one image over the other. Then if there is any part of the bokeh that you don't want either on the face or other parts of the subject, simply grab the eraser tool from the top of the screen and erase away. Now make sure you zoom in the delicate parts such as the face or the hair or the arms and all these places, and be careful because it could ruin your image if you're not. Now once you're done, this is the final image, and with the edit, save it to your gallery and you're done taking a photo that looks like this to this. And well guys, that brings us to the end of today's tutorial. In case you guys liked the video and want me to do more videos like these, be sure to drop a comment, leave a like, share this video, subscribe to the channel. As always, follow me on Instagram and on Twitter for future updates and behind the scenes. With that being said, this is Anubhav signing out. I will see you guys in my next one. Until then, have a great day. Peace out.